Hello again, everyone. I'm here today with a fairly quick swatching of these Derwent Lightfast pencils. These are colored pencils, which are artist grade. These, along with the drawing pencils by Derwent, are supposed to be the best artist pencils by Derwent that are lightfast and are best for not fading. So I only got 12 of these because they are a rather expensive set, and I actually got this one used, and I say used, but I sort of don't actually mean used. I got it from a used sale site, but it was brand new. It was still in the wrap and everything. I took the wrap off so that I wouldn't have to do that on camera, but it's only a 12 pencil set, but these normally run 30 some dollars, I think, depending on where you get them. And I got these for 20. It's still a little expensive in my opinion for 12 pencils, but in theory you don't really need a whole lot if you end up mixing on the page. So again, these I got mostly for mixed media and maybe to also interplay with watercolor. But I'm going to go ahead and get in here so that you can see the colors and see the swatches. So I already have a page marked. I'm going to open that up. And then I already have a page marked in my essentially mixed media swatch book here. So these are the Derwent Graphitint pencils that are above here. And let's see. So on the next page I have the Prismacolor colored pencils. I have videos for all of these. Oh, and excuse me. Oh, so sorry. It's been allergy season. It's really terrible. Okay, so and then on the previous page I have the Derwent drawing pencils, which I was also mentioning, and I do have a video on these. I'll probably just put a link to these because they're the most related to the Lightfast. These come in a variety of really lovely earth tones, the Derwent drawing pencils, and they're really, really beautiful. They lay down really nicely. I really like them. I only have a few of the Holbein colored pencils, and then here I have some random other items like the Prismacolor Premier water soluble pencils, and I think that's all in the pencil category. But I'm going to put these Lightfast ones down beneath the Graphitint. The Graphitint are all fairly neutral. These sort of have a variety of colors, more like a traditional set. I am going to zoom in here. And, and I haven't swatched these on the channel. Maybe I'll show you those as well. These are the Faber-Castell Pit These are the Faber-Castell Pit brush pens here, and I did little swatches of each of the colors that I have. I did some swatching of Pit brush pens on the channel before, but I only did a few that I had, so I thought I would show you here. They come in a great variety of colors. And again, these are mostly mixed media supplies, and then also I tend to use, not the Pit brush pens, but the colored pencils especially, I tend to use with watercolors. So I'm going to zoom in a bit, and let's go ahead and get started here. Let's see. I will label the colors with this pen. I just wrote the title here, and I noticed that I'm probably running out of ink in this pen and need to replace the insert in here, but I won't be doing that on camera. I think I probably have enough juice to do the labeling for these 12 pencils. So this is a Copic multi-liner in 0.7. This is kind of what I've been associating with this book to label things. It is permanent, Copic, and waterproof, which is kind of nice for this context. They're great for drawing too. I use them for that as well. Okay, so I'm actually going to go, I'll put these here. Well, it's always tough when I want you to get in here with the swatches themselves. So I'm actually going to go in reverse order from how they're laid out here and do the white first. Generally, you can't see the white very well, so I figured I would just get that out of the way. So let's go ahead and do that. And as usual, you can't really see. These are not water soluble, so these are just going to be regular pencils. You can see it a little bit maybe if not even if I tilt the page. Okay, so let's just go ahead and label that. This is it just white? Yes, it's just white. Okay, And then the next one that we have is black. And they, with the color, they say LF, LFI. I'm not sure what the I stands for, but the LF is definitely Lightfast. So let's get in there. Oh, that's a really nice black, and goes down very, very nicely, very smoothly. Okay, so this is the black. Okay, so those are the kind of uninteresting colors. So let's go ahead and get into the rest of them here. So this is brown ochre. It's a lovely color. Very versatile, I think, in mixed media. Brown ochre. And then let's go on to the natural brown. And what's kind of nice about these sets is that they're not necessarily typical sets where you would just get sort of the bright colors. They really have a good variety of colors. Okay, so this is the natural brown. And then next we have Mallard. Oh, mallard, like the duck. Mallard green. Okay. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I'll put 6 on each side here. And that's a lovely green. It's sort of a tealish color, and it definitely is the color that I would associate with a mallard duck. I love how I was trying to make that fancy. Mallard green. Okay, and then this next one is mid ultramarine. Move that up so you can be sure to see them all. Wow, I'm surprised they're calling that mid. I would probably call that a light ultramarine. The light, if they do have one, must be very light. So this is mid ultramarine, and they don't have the pigment information. I'm not sure if you'd be able to find them. I would hope so, since they're artist pencils, but brands are not always consistent with having pigment information for colored pencils. Okay, so this next one is violet. Lovely purple. And these lay down really nice. I don't have to press super hard to get a really nice lay down of color. And then this one is scarlet. That's a lovely sort of true red there. Scarlet. And then we have a salmon color, which is essentially a pink. This might be a nice color for skin tones. Like I said, I don't, or like I've said before, I don't generally draw or paint people very often, if at all. It's just not really my subject of choice, but this would probably be a good color for light skin tones. Okay, and here we have sandstone. These are really lovely colors, nice neutral colors. Sandstone. Okay, and then we have yellow ochre, which is a great color for using as sort of a primary yellow, which is, it's more of an earth tone yellow, but if you don't have a yellow, which it doesn't seem like this set does, or like a true yellow, be good for that. Yellow ochre. And then the last one here is sun yellow. Okay, so we do have a true yellow in here. Yeah, that's nice. That's a beautiful yellow, actually. Okay, sun yellow. Okay, and what I am going to do with just a couple of colors here, I think I'll choose the yellow and the red to try and make an orange in the middle. One of the sort of hallmarks of a good artist grade pencil is that you'll get good blending between colors. So I will do that really quickly. So it looks like if you want your primary colors, the primary colors in here are going to be sun yellow, scarlet, and this mid ultramarine. This is probably a little lighter than I would prefer for a blue, as far as a primary blue. You could use the mallard green, I suppose, but you're obviously leaning towards green. It does have some blue tones in here. Let's see, and you have a lot of nice earth tones, so that's good. And you don't really have sort of a split primary where you would have a warm and a cool of each of the primaries, but you do, I mean, you do have, let's go ahead and put this. Actually, let me do a little color wheel. It's going to be kind of small here. So let's see. So if we have blue here as sort of the primary blue, then we have red as the primary red, and then we have this yellow as the primary yellow. Okay, and then here I'll do a little bit of blending. So I'm just going to go halfway, and then with the red, I'm going to go halfway into that, and we should be able to, let's see, let me go back in with the yellow. Sometimes you have to do that. In the middle here, we should be able to get a fairly good orange. I think the red is probably a little bit brighter. We're getting a little bit there. It's probably not as good as I would like. Here, let's try with the, I'll put a lighter coat in the first pass. And so here we should be able to get a purple. Again, yeah, I'm not sure how I like the lay down with these for true color mixing. I mean, that almost looks orange in there. That's kind of interesting. Wondering if, I think the blue might not be bright enough to get a good purple. Okay, and then let's try here. Yellow and the blue. So we should be able to get a green here in the middle. Yeah, and I think that's probably the most successful one here. Yeah, and sometimes you need to go back and forth to kind of blend it out a little bit. There. And in the middle you are kind of getting a green. So I don't know if color mixing would be the strong suit for these. I will put this closer up to the camera here so you can see that little color wheel that I just made. Orange and green probably worked the best. I'm really not getting a purple there between the red and the blue. And purples are kind of finicky. You kind of need to have the right red and the right blue in order to make a good purple tone, but you do have a violet already in the set, so perhaps they didn't feel like that was necessary. And the orange, I probably would go heavier on the yellow. Here, let me see. We've got a little extra bits there. And you do get a little bit of rub. You probably could blend these together a little bit with your finger. You could also get a blending pencil to blend them together. So these, if you use them with watercolor, they will essentially form a resist to the watercolor, meaning that the watercolor will not lay down where you've put this color down for the pencil. So you could do that. You could use these pencils for that with watercolor, or you could lay the pencil on top of the watercolor as sort of like a highlight or a low light if you wanted to put some black or dark brown or the violet in there as sort of a darker color. So it's really up to you, or you could just use them as is. I think this really is a nice color palette. I think that if these were my only pencils, I probably would get a couple of colors to supplement. I probably would get more of a magenta-like red so that I could do some blending with blues. I also would get a different blue. I probably would get a more cyan type blue, which would be You could also get sort of a phthalo blue, whatever would be equivalent to a phthalo blue, or Prussian blue, any of those that would be in that category. And I probably would also get a darker warm blue, like just a dark ultramarine or pure ultramarine. So that's probably what I would add to this set to sort of supplement it. And maybe a couple of darker greens too, because I really do like that. The nice thing is, though, with these Graphitint pencils, you get a lot of nice neutral greens and things like that. So if you were to use them together, that would be nice. And also with the drawing pencils, you get a lot of nice neutrals as well. You pretty much don't have primaries here with your drawing pencils. I suppose you could use yellow ochre, smoke blue, and maybe ruby earth as your little triad, and try and mix those. With colored pencils, it is really sort of a different game mixing your colors as opposed to, say, watercolor or some other painting media, just because you're not going to ever get a true mix of color. It's always going to be one color laying over the other with the colored pencils. Same is true sort of for soft pastels as well. All right, well, I think that's all I had for you today. If you have any questions about this set, feel free to let me know. I will see which swatching videos I want to put a link to. I think I will probably put the more recent ones. You can also search my channel. I do have a variety of swatching videos for mixed media supplies. But I will decide at some later point. But if there's one you want specifically, I can hunt it out and add it later too as well. All right, well, that's all I had for you today. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.